Hi, welcome to our reading for Friday, the 6th of January, 2017. Remember, it's a general reading. See what feels right for you. See which signs, symbols, bells, whistles, messages, energies resonate for you and bring you clarity to what you're wondering, concerned, confused, inquiring, dreaming, praying about. We're all children of God. We're all psychic. We're not all going through the same thing at the same time, at the same pace. So see what feels right for you. It could be one sign, and that brings you clarity. It could be the whole reading. It could make sense later. In the end, always use your logic and intuition together to make sound decisions based in love for the highest, greatest good of everybody involved. So we're all uplifted in love. See how it feels for you, how you ride these emotional waves that come through here is always up to you. Is it your wave? Is it not your wave? Are you waiting for another wave, preparing for that wave, crashing into the wave, riding the wave, or ignoring the wave? Also, feel free to make this an interactive video if you want to pull some cards for yourself. And if you have some time, try to check out the link below, see if there's more signs and symbols, depth to this reading in the lyrics, the music. Just enjoy the tunes. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the reading, and I'll see you in a moment. Hi, welcome to our reading for Friday, the 6th of January, 2017. We're going to start with the Art of Life Tarot. Let's see what kind of energy is coming through for the day. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, our higher self, angels, and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. Let's get clarity, focus on the energy coming through for the day, and wisdom for us all to ride these energies best. Let's start with one card and get some wisdom for the day. Friday, January 6th, 2017. One card. The Six of Pentacles. So, balance, weighing something out, feeling out the value in your scale, in your time, in your energy, on your schedule, feeling a rebalance in something. I'm getting like an adjustment, you know, like something was out of balance for a while and something comes through. It could be a gift. It could be an opportunity, you know, that meeting that you have with somebody that has a friend that has this other opportunity for you to do something extra on the weekend down the road, you know, next month. It might not come through like today, immediately. It might trickle through a different way. I'm getting like word of mouth, recommendations, new customers even. It could just be having that, like I'm getting if you work at a restaurant or at a club, in a bar, even at, like I'm getting like a boutique, you know, and you have that one customer come in and you end up like having a conversation about the song that was playing on the radio or that the band was playing or about something on the menu. It could be like the people next to you, you know, something like that. And you could work there. You could be both like patrons or customers. So I feel like there's somewhere in public today, maybe like even at the store, you know, I'm getting like transition. Maybe it's even a transition time, like not like, you know, you went into a bodega for a bottle of water or went into the market for some green beans or something and it's there. It's that transition time, not really your destination or where you came from, but I also feel like that transition energy is important. Like pay attention to the small things, that small exchange. It could be, I'm going back to the restaurant just as a parable here to get some focus to all of this energy coming through. You know, say it's that customer or that client that you talk to. It might just be, you know, a small table, one person, but they have a huge family or, you know, a lot of friends or, you know, they have a birthday coming up or somebody they know has a birthday and they tell them and then you have 20 customers the next week and they're all amazing. So you never know what might come through later. It might not feel like a lot right now, so pay attention to what feels valuable. I'm also getting advice, like not necessarily like a check, although it could be a check. It could be like when the Six of Pentacles, it could be like finding some money. It could be, I just saw somebody like, it made me think of the person that goes down and like checks the meters and puts the quarter in, like, you know, just put another quarter in and give somebody another half an hour so they don't get a $60 ticket or $15 ticket, depending on where you live. You know, so, you know, that little extra something, it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be a lot out of your pocket that you're giving. It feels like you can give something. So I feel like this is both ways. Maybe there's an adjustment with, where you can give something that you had stored away that you don't need. I just thought of something that just brought like an emotional wave through me. It was actually New Year's Day last week. I got done with work in New York City and it was pretty cold. It was pretty cold and it was pretty desolate on New Year's Day. You know, there's not much going on at that time. And there was somebody by my car that, you know, he was homeless and he had his basket and he was sleeping and very cold. And I had an extra blanket or two in my trunk, not doing anything. I had my coat and I always have stuff with me. So, you know, I don't want to wake him up and freak him out. Be like, I don't want to touch him or like, you know, invade his space. So I'm like, I just sort of was like my mom would be, and a little bit extra loud, like, yo dude, you all right? I have a blanket here for you. And it was a really nice blanket. It was like a faux fur blanket. So, you know, it's really warm. And, you know, it was in my trunk. It was there and not doing me any good just sitting in my trunk. And he looked cold. So I was like, yo, dude, I got a blanket here. Do you want it? You know, we woke up and he took it. And I had an extra scarf and a pair of gloves. So I just gave it to him. And then I went to get myself a bagel. So I got him one and some orange juice and banana cake and then put it in an extra bag and went back and, you know, said, here you go. Here's your breakfast. Happy New Year. And I'll be on my way. So sometimes it's just something small. It doesn't have to be big, but it feels good to do it. It feels right at the moment. It feels like you may have been there for that reason. And, you know, no one else is doing it. Why not? And there might be another time when you're that person out in the cold, looking for directions, hungry, you know, needing some advice, needing a job, needing a connection, needing the door to open, needing something, and it's going to come through, you know, at just that right time, just when you were thinking about it, just when it was supposed to be. Sometimes it's not when we want it. Sometimes things have to be worked out, you know. Sometimes it's not immediate. Somebody has to actually go to the store and gather something up and think about the idea and maybe change their mind and come on back and have it come through. You know, sometimes it takes a little, I get like working behind the scenes, you know, for something to happen before it comes through. So see how your scale adjusts and how you feel with every situation. You know, if a situation feels like you should stop and maybe doing a little adjustment in your time or your schedule or your scale for a reason, or you have a little wisdom or something that you can give, if it feels right, give it. You know, you can't make somebody take it, you know, so don't be offended if somebody's not used to getting, you know, a helping hand on something. Like I see somebody working in their car or, you know, under their hood and you come by and you're like, oh, well, if you did that thing and the thing, and not everybody wants to hear it. Sometimes people like to do it themselves, but you know, it doesn't hurt to try. And you never know, maybe you really had that good idea and they just don't want to admit that maybe when you leave, that was the exact thing they needed to hear and that exact screw that was missing underneath, and they're just a little embarrassed to say anything to you. So don't get offended if somebody doesn't feel like exactly see like, thank you for that. Maybe it comes through later for them, that thank you. And that energy will come through regardless. You know, they'll feel that, oh, thank goodness that person came through and like set my ass straight with that thing that I forgot under there. I forgot the nut, you know? So, you know, just let it go and let it be, and trust that it might come through to you that same way. It might not feel like it's exactly advice or helpful at that moment. Like maybe you didn't think you needed help, or no, but then maybe later it comes through as wow. Or maybe you find out later that that thing you didn't think about was actually really helpful, or trickles out there in the universe and something makes its way back to you, you know? It could be the same energy. It could be a totally different kind of energy. You know, it could be somebody bringing you lunch at work all of the sudden, just when your tummy was growling. You know, you never know how it might come through, but it will be something that has value to you. I always get time too with the 6 and the Pentacles, because I feel like the Pentacles aren't just like money and opportunity and a raise and a promotion or like a check, you know, something like that, that it's actually value. So it could be time. For a lot of us, our time is really valuable. You know, it's, you only have, why aren't there more hours in the day, you know? But, you know, I'm getting balance, you know, even with sleep. Sleep is valuable. Restoring your energy is valuable, so you don't give from an empty plate. So it's restoring those energetic scales as well as the physical scales that you feel. So pay attention to energy too. See where your energy is being depleted. What people are depleting your energy. What environment is depleting your energy all of the time. What can you do? Can you do something to change that environment so it feels more lively and restores you? Or do you need to leave that environment, leave that situation and go somewhere else? Or do you need to give it less time and more time somewhere else that's more to you and things you like and places that you resonate with, so that you feel like your energy's restoring itself and you naturally start to move your scale around all the time. So you go towards those things that feel better and you start to let go of the things that aren't, or find solutions and ways to adapt to them so they don't bother you so much. You know, sometimes you just can't change somebody or a personality or a thing or a situation, and you just have to let it go, adapt, work around it, you know, adjust to the weather, do what you have to do, prepare early, not take it personally. Sometimes somebody's just going through something and they, you know, you're at that place, maybe the right place at the wrong time, or the wrong place at the wrong time, and they, you know, you hold the door for somebody and they're just like, ah. And maybe they didn't even see you, or they're walking by, or they just had news, or they're just not, you know, they're late for something, and you don't know what somebody else is going through. You can't always take it personally. So, you know, I really like, it's none of my business, or like, it's none of your business what anybody else thinks of you. You know, it's not going to change who you are. Who you are is who you are. You own that shit. So don't worry about what someone else thinks and let them adjust to you. Wow, I just thought of that song. What was that song? I think it's Scars to Your Beautiful. I think it's that song. Don't change a thing. Let the world change its mind about you, or something like that. That's a cute song. I like her. Is that ALESSIA, CARA? I think I said her name right. I maybe did, but I'll put that below. So, you know, maybe it's not adjusting the situation just how you see it. You know, it's finding those beautiful attributes and the quirky things about you. I feel like that's what comes through. It's those things that you didn't, you know, really think much about doing. You just did because, you don't know, I just did it. You know, and those are the things that make a difference. And maybe somebody else just has that thing, you know, they just wanted to help you. You just resonated with them. There was just some kind of connection that you guys had, and some kind of help comes your way. Somebody gives you good advice, you know, something good just comes through today. You know, it makes you feel better. It makes you feel like, that feels better. Like a, you know, good stretch going on. You were just like stuck in one position for so long. You didn't know what's going on. You started getting used to that position, not knowing anything's wrong. You know, and you're like, I'm getting like muscle, like how your muscles on one side, if you're always doing something one way or lopsided, your muscle will adapt on the other side. And adjust accordingly for the injury or whatnot. So sometimes you have to like slowly stretch that other side out and get things balanced again. And you know, once you move that kink out, you're like, wow, I didn't even realize I was sleeping on that wrong, or moving on that wrong, or stuck in that position for so long. I didn't realize my leg fell asleep until I woke up and couldn't feel it anymore. You know, so it's moving things around so you can feel what's going on in your environment and your energy. I'm getting the schedule again. Maybe it's just moving things around on a schedule. The time things coming through for me as value. So maybe you have to move your schedule. 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Earth, 6 of Stones. This picture, let me let you see this. All of these cards have art and a quote. And this art is The Good Samaritan. Detail by Philip Richard Morris, 1857, Blackburn Museum and Art Gallery, Lancashire, UK. A man's true wealth is the good he does in this world. Muhammad. Okay, so let's move along and get another card from the I have this, so I didn't expect to use it, but I grabbed it. So we're gonna go for one card from the Cyrano Machete's Tarot of Dreams and get clarity on the 6 of Pentacles for Friday. Feeling the scales move, like just like pay it forward, good deeds, like feeling good about something. I'm getting like something restoring your energy somehow, like a different circulation, like when the song changes and your mood changes kind of thing. Or when somebody comes and sits next to you and they just have that happy, beautiful energy and it just snaps you out of something. That's sort of what I'm feeling. It might be quick. It might be just an energetic change, you know? That song that comes on that puts a smile on your face. Let's get one more card for Friday. Clarity on the 6 of Pentacles. A man's true wealth is the good he does in this world, Muhammad. The 3 of Wands. So this just came up. So there's this active waiting, knowing something's on the horizon, knowing the ship's coming in, knowing like there's like it's anticipation, knowing, feeling, understanding. Maybe that's that fuel, like that spiritual fire coming through. I feel like the 3 of Wands is creativity and others wanting to get on board with that creativity, that energy, that light beaming from you. It's like your own sunshine. It's your own light beaconing out there like a lighthouse, you know, that could be like, you know, a warning, like not for you, or yes, come over here. This is totally for you. You're going to resonate with this. Come on board, give it a try, and let's go sailing. It's still an in-between. It still requires the creative energy to move, you know, somewhere, to start to do something, to send it out somewhere. It's also like, you know, waiting around a little bit. I sort of like what came through yesterday. It could be like going to different places, getting on different ships. I was seeing like the airport, and sometimes you have like a layover, you know, and you have to wait for the next plane to come. You know it's coming. Even if it's delayed, you know it's on its way, but it's taking that time, that energy, that space, and doing something with your energy, creative, so you're not sitting there bored, you know, or like, you know, waiting for the water to boil, doing nothing productive with your time. It's going to make your energy itchy, because this comes when there is still inspiration coming through. So take that energy, and when you get itchy about something, make that call. You know, make that creation, write down those ideas, look at the puzzle all together and see how it makes sense. I'm getting writing stuff down, like almost like a journal. You know, if you're getting on this sailing ship here, you know, and it's not even on this, you have a very special journey ahead of you. It's not a normal ship on the waters. It's flying in the air. So it's a multitasking, multi-purpose ship. I just thought of the fifth element. It also has a big sun on it. So there's a big sun energy that makes me think of Leo, but this card has sun in Aries. So even in Aries energy, a fiery energy, it could also be a Sagittarius energy. This could be you waiting for something to come through, waiting for that opportunity, that little bit of inspiration so you know you should get on board with it first, or you're just waiting for that last thing to finish up before you get on, waiting to pack your suitcase, making some plans. But I feel like, I don't know, like yesterday you want to be on board, or you're already on board with something. You're just waiting to go, you know, waiting for somebody else to come along, or waiting to arrive at something else before you can begin, brainstorm, have that conversation, start that relationship. I feel like you have to, I'm getting like out of town. Maybe you have to get out of town, maybe with this specific person, maybe with somebody you know, maybe you need to go somewhere by yourself first and sort of have some time to think, you know, before you actually make that decision, get on board with something, you know, because wherever you're going, you're moving from the 3 to the 4, which is stability in your world, solid ground. You know, you're no more procrastination, hesitation, waiting around. You're ready to do this with this. It's also like, I feel like you work well with others with the 3. My Mannix. But this is working well in spirit, you know, with the 3. So it's like having ideas and adventures together, and like it comes, like the inspiration comes through you and circulates inside of you to create that adventure, to make you move forward, to make you get on board with something, to hit the gas, to hit go, to make the call, and to do something. So you get somewhere. So you're not just sitting around all the time. Or so somebody else isn't sitting around all the time waiting for you. It's time to get on board, make that call. You know, I hear no hesitation. So take what you need and figure it out when you get there. You know, there's always what you need when you arrive, or you'll figure it out. You'll adapt, you'll adjust. If you make too many plans and you arrive and you feel different about that location or that environment or that relationship than when you imagine it in your head or thought about it prior, you know, you might have a totally different situation when you're actually there. So don't pre-plan too much, just what you can, what you need, and what you know from your own experience, which is good enough. And the rest is still, you know, yet to be seen, you know, an experience yet to be had. That usually there's an excitement coming through this because you don't really want to wait. It's always like sort of having to wait for something, but you know it's going to happen. You did a good job, and plans are going to follow through. Even if they don't follow through how you planned, they follow through better. It works out even better, you know, even farther than that initial goal that you had, you know, past that goal. You know, I'm getting no expectations. So, you know, make the plans you need to so you feel good, but don't get overwhelmed with them. Don't get worried in the plans. Just get there. You're already good. I feel like just don't, I'm getting like, just don't worry. Like, you're strong. You're a badass. Everyone wants to come to you to work with you, or the right energy has found you to get on board with you. Trust with this, that you've already done that, like, energetic work inside of you to make it move. You've already shined that light through. You already sent that prayer out. The universe was already in the works. God has already planned something to come on through. It's just you're finally starting to notice it a little bit in the horizon. It doesn't mean it wasn't on its way for a very long time. It's just now there's that like connection, that energetic like pull coming through that you can see it happening, you know. So that pull, you know, that closeness is just changing the energy inside of you a bit. So there's an adjustment period before it comes in, so you know how to handle it. That's sort of what I'm getting. So let's get another card from the Guardian Angel Tarot for Friday. Friday, January 6th. Clarity on the 3 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles. And that's, well, the messenger of action. So that's like the Page of Rods. This could be the message that you needed to, like, you know, just, I feel like the rods, the fiery energies, like the spiritual fuel, you know, that fills up the gas tank of your spiritual body to get you to move. You know, it's something you want to keep going back to, that keeps you energetically alive, if that makes sense. So it's something that like fills you up. You're like, wow, I didn't even know I was depleted. That just filled me up, made me feel alive, and now let's go. This could be somebody you know too. This could be a person. It's a page. It would be somebody young or feeling like they're kind of young in their environment, like it's a brand new adventure, like they can't see anything that's going around, but they're not really scared of the dark. They'll give it a go. You know, they'll be the first to try it, the first to go in, to conquer that fear. They're pretty adventurous. I feel like they're usually the class clown, or they're kind of funny. Maybe sort of into sports or something physical, like being the first. Maybe just sort of like confident. It doesn't really matter if they're extrovert, introvert, artsy, into sports, into psychology, whatever it is, they're just sort of confident and into it. And they know where to shine that light, where their confidence is best, you know, where their skills and their attributes and their quirks and everything fit. And they learn to like get up again. They're like the little kid that runs around the neighborhood and figures everything out. Even if they go somewhere new, they're like, whoa, I'm gonna look around. And they always sort of make it home. You don't really have to worry about them getting lost. And they're not really scared if anything happens. They'll figure it out. They'll get out of there quick. They're good. So this could be the Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. This could be you. This could be somebody else you know. Or this could be the message coming through. The advice coming through for the day. That it's going to be something you might not know everything about. But it will eventually feel like it's fueling your fire. Like it's getting you somewhere. Like it's making your light brighter. And you need to go somewhere to do it. You need to get somewhere. You need to have an adventure. Go on and like an expedition is what I'm getting. Even my energy feels excited. Like it's like, let's go. Like, let's stop thinking about it. Let's just go. And figuring it out later. This person has a lot of trust. You know, they trust that they have the confidence and the strength, and they sort of just always get up again. So they kind of expect to win, and usually win because of that. Like, awesome placebo effect, you know, and confidence. You know, they usually win because they believe they are. They believe they're going the right way. They're not afraid if they go the wrong way to figure out the right way from there. So continue on, you know, get up again, continuing on. So this could be that kind of energy. Somebody you know that's pretty prominent in the day to maybe get you on board, whether it's with them or just the information comes through to get you on board with something by yourself. Do something on your own, get that confidence in you. It's kind of like that little kid that's really honest and like, what are you waiting for? You are so pretty, or you are so smart. You always have the answer for that thing when this thing comes in. It could be that young energy just kind of like slapping some sense into you. You know, like, oh yeah, I am pretty good at that kind of thing that comes through. You know, and just, I feel like it's good advice. You know, it might be just that little boost of confidence you needed to hear. It might just be a compliment on your shoes. You know, something silly. But like, yeah, like, I do always have nice shoes. You know, whatever it is. And you put a lot of time into those shoes. Or, you know, whether you should pick those shoes or the other shoes. And the first thing you do is walk out and somebody compliments your shoes. So for you, that compliment made your day. Silly and small as it is, you know, and you start that energetic ball rolling in the right way for the rest of your day. So see where this light is shining. She's cute. It also makes me think of like, you know, when like how households used to be before LED lighting was available, you know? It used to be by candlelight, by lantern light, and you had to walk down that hallway to pee in the middle of the night if you didn't have like a pan by your bed, or you had to go out to the outhouse. You had to go outside, you know, with a little candle and only seeing around you. So, you know, you have to get over like fear of the dark, what you can't see, and just pee. Do what you have to do. That was sort of weird. The messenger of action is something new and exciting relating to creativity or your career comes to your attention. You feel an eagerness to learn and you're ready to get going. Maybe get along with someone. That sort of Freudian slip came through. Although you may feel insecure, do it anyway. This card represents someone in your life, or maybe you, who is creative, enthusiastic, and fascinated by life. Like, just something new is fascinating because it's a new experience they don't have yet on the old list. You know, this person doesn't want to just do the same thing all the time, even if it's the same thing. They got to switch it up somehow. It's that person that rearranges the furniture, you know, to feel different. Fascinated by life and who wants to try everything. And still new, hasn't yet. So it doesn't matter what age you are, you can still have that adventurous spirit. Or that's the adventurous spirit advice, wisdom coming through for you. If you don't know, don't make all the plans. Don't assume that you know something you've never tried. You might like it. You might love it. You might fall in love with it. You never know. All right, one more card for the day. I think, well, I don't have the Oracle of Vision, so let's do one more card from the Romance Angels, since it's been a while since I've used this. So let's go for one more card for clarity on romance, communication, matters of the heart, love for Friday, January 6th, 2017. One card. And that one is, wow, soulmate. That's really nice. Yes, this is your soulmate. So if it was like a yes/no question for you and you were wondering if that person you keep thinking about, I just heard Bloodstream, that song come through. I'll put that below, Stateless. Wow, that was weird. So maybe there's something in the lyrics there. I can't really think of it. I just sort of hear the music. Maybe it's just yes. Is this person going to be there forever? We never know. We never know. It could be that important moment, that important cross point, you know, mark in your world that changed your direction, that got you on board with something, that stirred up the passion in you to do something about it. Maybe this person came in for a moment. Maybe they've been there the whole time. Maybe they're new. You never saw them before. You never thought anybody like this could possibly be your roommate. Or maybe it's your roommate or your soulmate or your lover. Maybe it starts as a friend. Maybe you thought you could never live with somebody you were with. You always just dated. And now you're deciding to, you know, maybe take it up a notch and move in together. Maybe something like that's coming through. Or you're thinking of moving it up, you know, another level, or seeing what it's all about, seeing why these feelings are coming through, or maybe why you went through something in the past and how you're going to do something different in the future, and if this is going to be the same like it was. I would say possibly, it's possible that you end something with somebody and you end up in a different situation with the same sort of scenarios that go on again. If you didn't really learn it or have closure or growth or harmony with how you ended or, you know, handled that last one, that maybe it could come through again as another lesson, a soulmate lesson. It doesn't always mean it's your soulmate forever. Your soulmate is also your family, your children, your kin, you know, your boys, your girls, people with you in your life for a part of your life, for your whole, you know, your whole life, or just moments. But it's somebody that makes a difference. Somebody that's there usually to teach you a lesson, to merge some kind of energies together and learn something together, because there's usually learning on both ends. So this could be somebody else. You could be learning the same thing, but I feel like you'd have more consciousness about whatever you went through, even if it's just the understanding you don't want to do that again. So you're therefore not going to handle it the same with the new person that you would with the other person. Also taking into consideration that if it's a new person you're with, it's just a brand new person and it's not the same situation, period, because we're all so complicated. So if little issues come through that feel like it's the same issues from anything in your past, heal them. And take that little issue on, not make it a bigger issue and not drag your whole past into it. Heal that little situation different than you always have and see how this relationship maybe develops different. Same relationship, new one, future one, you know? But it's feeling like there's a change in something, feeling like you have a growth, like there's an acceptance, and it was okay to even mess up because now you've learned more about yourself or each other because of that. Whether you stay together, you decide to go apart, or you decide to make it however you guys want, you know? I feel like it's always a discovery. You're not going to find out here what your future is going to be there. It starts with that one connection and seeing how it opens up, you know? How it makes you feel. What you feel inside your soul, inside your heart, inside your whole being, your spiritual body, your mental body, your physical body, and your emotional body all together. So, yes, this is your soulmate. That could be somebody that you're leaving behind. It was still your soulmate. It was still your time together and growth. And there could be a new soulmate on the way that you know, that you don't know, that you're thinking about, that you're wondering about, or that you're having another chance with. You know, they're all different dynamics in your world. It's all how you perceive that situation and grow from it and cherish it when it's there. You know, because they're all moments to cherish when they're in our arms, when it's in front of you, and when it's someone that you can say, I love you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for that. You know, thank you for that moment and that growth. And let's see. So I hope this is helpful for the day. I love you guys so much. I'll see